Hello everyone. I'm level 36 and welcome back to Stationeers. We're in our space shed here on Vulcan. Um, we have established a semi-safe environment, but it is not fully actually safe yet. Um, so I've been thinking about it, and while it may be a little bit foolish, I kind of really want to make this whole room pressurized. Um, I know that's not the best idea, and we should probably just focus on surviving out here first. But I kind of want a little bit more space, and this whole extra airlock into a grow chamber slash environment room is a bunch of space that we don't need to use up if we just pressurize the whole place. Um, But to do that, or to pressurize any bits of the space, we need some basic life support first. Um, we also might need to fly back to my main station so that we can, drink some water. And it's just turned into a solar storm. That's excellent. Well, I guess we're not flying back for a minute. We might have to find a way to drink some water on the inside. What can we do while we're waiting? All right, let's grab our production supplies. So we will need some basic tools out here, like our autolathe, hydraulic pipe bender, and electronics printer. I want to do this a little bit better than I did back in my main or current main base, and just kind of make things a little bit neater. So I don't know if we have room to make things much neater though, unfortunately. Now that I'm seeing this space, it is not much space. As much as I wanted to keep the trailer vibes of this little thing, I think we might need to actually expand our little space shack one more, because otherwise we're really not gonna have room to breathe in here. Um, although we should be able to. We should be able to do this. It doesn't. We don't need this. We can set these into the wall a little bit. All right. Let's see if we can make this work. So if we stick our auto lathe right here, then our electronics printer can't stack them, can we? No. So it's the electronics printer right there. And then hydraulic pipe bender is going to go right here. It's not terrible in terms of space. Wow, it's really bright out there when it's a solar flare. All right. We want a stacker. We want some pipes. And we also need our mods. I don't know that we're going to get to the ATM in this environment. So the stacker, we can kind of stick somewhere. So my kind of idea with this, it might be foolish, probably is foolish actually. So in the Mars series, we built a really nice like automatic ingot delivery system where you queue up your production and it would deliver the exact ingots that needed to the system. It would return them back and all of that, and it was great. I don't want to set that up in this because this is supposed to just be temporary, but I'm kind of sick and tired of moving ingots from machine to machine every time that I need to make something. Um, and the general goal of this space is a little bit of overproduction. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our stacker here. Or let's actually grab our chutes first. So we need to hook up a feed line. Yeah, this is going to stick out the edge of the base. That's fine, though. Honestly, we could probably save some space by doing this all outside of the base. Which means we can't do it just yet, because it's a little bit spicy outside right now. But we can kind of set up for it. But essentially my idea is we're just going to take stacks of ingots, turn them into um, one ingot that will get sent through a distribution manifold to each machine. To do that, we're going to need let's see, we have 3 machines.
Hydration critical.
Yeah. Did I bring any water with me this time? No, I didn't even bring any. That's unfortunate. We have oxygen, but if we go outside, we are gonna die, especially on that long flight back to the main station. We might have doomed myself once more. Well, while we're waiting on that, we can figure out our 1 to 3 splitter and put some other stuff away. This can go in here. Actually, let's just stick that in there. Waste tank. These can become emergency supplies over here. Oh, we might still use that. It's bright out. At least our battery should be charged. Yeah, 100%. How am I not surprised? Luckily, it looks like the sun is going to be going down here momentarily. So hopefully we'll be able to survive the outside world. You know, I think we are going to keep our crumbs. There's a solar panel in the way up there. Okay, does that mean we can't put cable down up there? It does. We'll have to also wire that. So in that case, I have to do this like this, I think. It's my regular wire. Yeah, I know I brought some. Go along this edge to get into here. Or we can go around the corner. This is what we'll do. Power into there. There we go. Airlock's wired up. We need to construct that, and then we'll need to wire it up on the outside. All right, it's dark out. We need to go. Learning my lesson from the last time I died, we're going to close any windows we don't need. So the easiest way to do a 1 to 3 splitter would be to use the I think it's probably going to be the way I do it. Just to use the digital shoot, the one that the digital flip-flop, because we can set it to be 2 1 2 1, and then we can use the analog flip-flop on the other one where it'll just go 1 to 1 1 to 1 1 1. Will this potentially get annoying if I need to manually feed things? Yes. So I might think of a way around that. We'll overcomplicate our simple solution. Absolutely. Here's the wall. Home, for now, should be right up here. There it is. Why is that red still? Why does something sound like it's going to explode? Hopefully this base doesn't have a catastrophe while I'm over there. Catastrophe. Jeez, words. I'm good at words. Alright, water. We're starting to take damage. I think maybe before production we should consider life support, because this is what is causing us to have to come back here so frequently, is the need to drink water. I mean, we set this up on like day 1. It wasn't that hard. Technically, we were cooling an even smaller space, too. Waste tank.
Waste tank critical.
I don't have another waste tank, so let's just steal that back.
Air tank critical.
Oxygen tank. There we go. Mm, anything we're gonna need? We've got a bunch of stuff with us, but I feel like we didn't bring enough stuff with us still. Let's close. Well, actually, let me see. What's my filters look like? Not great. Let's just print up a couple more. CO2. Carbon dioxide filters. Iron. That's steel. Iron. There we go. Um, no use in wasting the ones that are already good. So what are we gonna need? We're gonna need water, and we're gonna need how much water do we have in here? Liquid volume 18 liters. How much do we have on the inside? We need water and we're going to need air. It's essentially the stuff that we need. Now, for water and air, to set up a little micro life support room, which is kind of our goal. We're going to need cooling. Then we're going to need filtration eventually. So cooling, we can kind of do the same thing we did here. In fact, we can just make a copy of this, or this, yeah, probably this IC with our little air tank system that we have outside. Because that worked. It's not the best cooling system in the world, but it makes a lot less angry sounds than our current big cooling system. We don't need to cool a huge environment. We just need to cool a little environment. So honestly, it seems pretty good. Let's actually just pop this on. Edit the air conditioner. Copy that. You back off. We should have pipes. We should have cowls. We should have vents. We're gonna want to probably inject CO2 still, because it's a very small room and we're gonna stack up some grow chambers in there so that we get a little bit of oxygen production along with some additional potato production. Let's actually grab our extra potatoes. I need a table as well. Let's just grab some granola bars for now so we have something. Water bottles. Water bottle filler will be necessary. Let's grab our liquid canister. Wow. 48 milliliters of, oh, that's why it's almost freaking empty. Okay. Well, let's deal with that first. If this empties out, we're eating bigger problems. This might take forever, so we might also need to make some more water real quick. Where is my other console? Is it in my other suit? No. I think we're gonna have to make some more water. We're already getting distracted. Side quests time. So let's see. Let's make more water. Let's kick on our lights. We've got some amount of oxygen. I really need my atmospherics analyzing thing. Where did I put said console? Not any more scrap around, do we? No. I don't know where I put my. It's probably in the other base, if I had to guess. All right, let's see. That analyzer, a little bit of iron. Make one of these. Actually, we don't really need the deep miner cartridge right now. What's this full of? H2. Okay. And this is full of O2. So, actually, we want it to be this line. We're going to need to open that up. That will expose our mixing valve. Both of these are at approximately even temperatures, although their pressures are all wacky. And we're going to need to turn all of this stuff on. Make sure our filtration is feeling good. No oxygen should make it through now. Kick you on. Make some combustible mix here. $300 mole. It's really not that much. So we've got about 1,000 mole in there already, and we're going to need significantly more. We don't really need to chew through all of my O2 supply. We definitely need better oxygen supply at some point. Mm-hmm. So that's about, let's see. The CO2 is really annoying. I guess that's the remnants from the tiniest little bit of CO2 that's left in here. 0.001 moles of it. 450 moles. All of these are turned on, ready to go. That's turned on, ready to go. Hopefully our big air conditioner is also ready to go. This seems like it. This does dump a ton of heat into the system. Let's get to 5 megapascals, then we'll cut it off. It should be enough to get us a decent amount of water. Go. All right. Burn away. Yeah, I'm seeing when done properly, the H2O2 fuel recipe, because it becomes water when it's burned. And it's not just in this combustor. That'll happen in the combustion centrifuges or combustion deep miners or whatever else we use it in. It will we can reprocess that using an electrolyzer into H2NO2 again. So realistically, the amount of um, what was I thinking of? The amount of fuel lost is going to be minimal. Like, yeah, we'll have to top it off a little bit, but this is a pretty effective solution instead of just burning oxygen into pollutant and dumping it. Got a whole lot of very hot water. That temperature's kind of climbing pretty quickly there. And that makes some hot gas. If we also feed this through a Stirling engine, that'd be pretty energy efficient as well. Still way too toasty to condense. So, well, the temperature's coming down fairly quickly. Heat exchanger is doing its job. All right, realistically, this should be fine. I'm not seeing anything that looks too full. Nitrogen's doing fine. No, we got a megapascal oxygen we filtered out. Just keeping the temperature nice and good. That's just processing through. Plenty left in the filters. This is just going to take a while. It's getting to be nighttime, so let's go continue our setup. As I fall in the hole that's still right outside my door. So the cooling setup will need an air conditioner, a tank, input, output. We can also filter it while we're there. But we don't really need to filter much. We're just going to want to store some CO2, which we can just get from the atmosphere, which we can tap off of our coolant reservoir. We can get CO2 from the atmosphere, right? Yes, we can. I am fairly certain. Now I'm doubting. Easy way to tell. Yep, we can. Here's the base. All right. So this is our atmosphere reservoir. Also going to want to set up solar tracking at some point. So let's just got our APC is right here. I have to do some renovations to the power network, I suspect. Okay. So we're gonna need a frame. Oh, I didn't mean to kick that out. We need a frame to build on, or two, which we can steal from right over here. And grinder. Oh, wrench. I forgot you gotta wrench out the steel plates first. Then you can grind down the frame. That doesn't super make sense, but it'll be fine. Okay. So life support area here. We need a tank. We're going to need... Probably didn't pack any tanks, knowing me. Cables, etc. We're going to need pipes. Atmos. Oh, we did pack tanks. Okay. Tank. Floor for now. Okay, we've got atmospherics. Let's grab one more. Got some insulated tanks. And should be fine. We're going to need our pipes. We'll just hold on to this. I see 10 ships we'll need when we're done. That. We'll need that when we're working on that again. That's great. Anything here? Combustion centrifuges. Raw materials. That's good, but not what I'm looking for. Do we not bring any more vents? Dang it. Okay. We got a couple in here. Okay. Well, it'll do. It'll do. It's not what we were hoping for, but oh, that's where my thing went. Okay. Let's just pack that in there and get started. So first things first. Need a tank. Tank is going to serve as a reservoir for our outside air. We're going to just put this inside the frame because that is something that is a valid placement location for the game and makes it a lot more convenient to be as space efficient when building as possible. We're going to drop it down one though. So that's going to go in there. Then we're going to grab one of our vents. And actually, we're going to need a pipe first. So we can hook into this. And then we'll need one of these steel plates in our welder. And I guess it's not really being interfered with, so it's fine. Also, a kind of nice thing about this, just being a little cheaty, is once it's placed like that, it is now, as far as I'm aware, indestructible. So this can hold any pressure and it won't go kaboom. We won't take advantage of that here, I don't think. But we also need a wire. Where is its logic port? Do these not have a logic port? I thought that the tanks had a pressure readout on them. Do we now need a pipe analyzer? What? Did I miss a change? I could have sworn you could always just cable into a pipe, into a tank, and it would show you what it's... Is it just because it's upside down? No, it really doesn't have one anymore. Well, that's... I mean, I guess it technically makes more sense, but it's unfortunate. I was kind of counting on that. Well, we'll need a pipe analyzer then. More stuff we need. Yeah. Stop making me fall off the edge. Atmospherics. Air conditioner. Let's go right. Actually, let's move it off the edge one. And we're gonna need. We didn't bring any regular pipes, which means we're not going to be able to complete these. Dang it. We already need more water as well. Alright. You can tell I'm good at this game. I remember all the things that I need. I'm good at the game. Which battery do we have? We have a large remote battery. Or large wireless battery. We don't have a nuclear battery on us. I wonder if we still have... We can use a pump for that. Yeah. That'll work out well. Might end up modifying our air conditioner code base a little bit to do just a bit more than it does right now. That was risky. I was hoping we'd land right in the doorway, but we did not.
Hydration critical.
Regular pipes. We've got a box of plates and stuff out there, so that should be fine. I saw our baked potato anywhere. Nope, not that I'm seeing. Get these for big harvest. Yeah, tank. Like, I'm not losing it. It did used to be here. I wonder if that's a change when they changed the atmospherics. If that was a change that was made, because I'm gonna like go out and look now because I'm pretty certain I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, look, all of these have a connector, but this one, the new one, doesn't. That's interesting. It's not like a huge issue, right? You can just read it from the pipe. But I think because now tanks are essentially considered just part of the pipe network, because like these old ones, the tank is actually a separate pipe network, and there's a loss or a move rate between the two. We should probably go inside. See how this is doing actually. Liquid pollutants, we've got a whole bunch. So this is all still running at optimal efficiency. We're dumping 18 kilojoules into the environment, or into this tank actually. If this system wasn't so large and janky, I would probably have set this up, but we can get away with just using, honestly, this would probably cool the whole base, so. Alright, let's head back inside and print out the stuff that we need. But yeah, it's interesting that those tanks, the new tanks, don't have the pressure readout. Did we come in with some extra food and water? I never actually checked. No, it doesn't appear that we did. Too many holes near my old base. Neat. Well, I've learned something that is mildly inconvenient. So now we need a pipe analyzer. Which needs electrum. Tried that in droves still. I don't know why I sounded so upset about that. Okay. Oh, that's where the other nuclear battery went. That's honestly a fine place for it. I want it to stay there. My forever trapped flares. We have digital valves and pressure regulators. We probably need a pressure regulator or want a pressure regulator, and we'll want some volume pumps. Might as well take a spare atmospherics, and that should be fine. We have a spare atmos cartridge. Let's top off on water before we head back. We're gonna want a grow light as well. I don't know if I brought any. I think I did. I think they're in the grow stuff box. We're gonna hope. Because I'm not gonna need them. No, I'm just not going to. There's another mod that I'm probably going to install soon that will make this this transit a little bit easier. See if you can guess what it'll be. I don't know if they'll. I don't think I have the resources to actually build the thing yet. We'll need our initial mining outpost to do that. But I'm quite looking forward to that, to the mod. As long as it works out well. I'll have to install it in testing world first. That's not great. I probably have another one somewhere. And I forgot the thing I went back for, the bloody pipes. Dang it. Yeah, well. We'll live. Or we won't. Let's quickly just fix my power to the airlock. This is gonna be ugly, but it'll work. Beauty was never part of this design. Hate that, but it is not wired in yet. Now it's wired in. Okay. We bring any extra sensor kits? I think there's one in the airlock box, actually. Nope, there's not. Alright, well, we can carry on with the construction over here. Let's grab our pipes. Our incorrect pipes. So, we're going to want... I was just saying about not having more holes over here. So this is where our air conditioner is going to go. We need another one that is going to be a filtration unit. this one. Yeah, that should be fine, I think. So that's the unfiltered output. This is the filtered output. Wow, I am having a time. Alright, we're just gonna use jetpack. Pipes. That's gonna go like that. See, that's gonna go like that as well. There's no room for wires in here. Which one is which? That's the connection for data. This one's the one for the power. So in theory, let me just see. Oh, heck yeah. We can make it work. That's not gonna work because we need to put a. You know, we can actually probably make this all work out in the end. We take that off and that off. Go back, collect all that. This one's just gonna come up. Up over. Input side. Don't need the data connection there. Yeah, this is going to be nice and compact. Well, I kind of hate that it's going to be facing into the wall, but it's kind of okay. We don't need to directly read it. And then inline gas tank insulated. Volume pump. Actually, I kind of want this to be up here anyway. Okay, and then back pressure regulator, just for safety's sake. kind of really wish we could actually put a data connection in that, which we probably can if we are a little bit creative with how we do it. Like so. Again, we're not really shooting for looks here. I do kind of just wish we could straight through some of this stuff. Be really convenient if they'd make a couple extra options of these that have pass-throughs in them. Just saying, devs, if you're listening. I doubt you are, but, you know, just in case. No, I think that's actually everything wired besides this into one cube. Pipe cowl. Then we just grab this tube. And we grab some more tubes. We have a passive fence. Nope, but we have a bunch of pipe cowls, and that's what we'll use. Do I have any mostly empty tanks? I do. Excellent. Will it fill up faster? You know what, honestly, there's plenty of space left in that tank. Just quit your whining. All right. Cowl and cowl. That is our input and output. Excellent. So now we need our IC-10 supplies, which looks like we just brought. Well, we also forgot our laptop. Whoop. We will need our laptop, our IC-10 enclosures. We're also going to need our another active vent, because I kind of forgot this needs, to vent somewhere. There's stuff in the way everywhere. This might get a little wacky with pipe routing. Make some passive vents. That'll make this whole area look a little bit better. Active vent. All right, we need one more active vent. And we're going to need some regular pipes. And we're going to need some passive vents. That way we can make this interior space look a little less uggo.
Waste tank critical.
It's not. We have plenty of space in there, unless my guy starts to cough up a lung, and then we know that we didn't have plenty of space. We do have an extra tank, just in case. Tracker. Repair the swap just in case. You know what? Actually, just makes the beep 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 go away. Let's see if we can't finish this off real quick for the end of the episode. So we're gonna need some pipes to make that work. We're gonna need a CO2 filter or two. We're not gonna get the programming done, I suspect, but we can get the construction done. So yeah, the whole idea of that little assembly is what we're doing is, because I haven't explained it, I just realized as we're getting close. I'll explain it when we actually finish it. But I might honestly write the code off camera because we've already done that. I did this once. It's going to just be a slight change to add in the CO2 injection code from, I think, the other IC10 that we added in to the main IC10. So what do we need? We needed active vent, passive vents. We need. Sorry. Also need a sensor kit. Need a IC housing. Copper, steel, and solder. How many spare copper kicking around do I? Let's grab our passive vents. Let's grab the insulated ones because I'm pretty sure I need the insulated ones. Silicone, silicone, silicone. Where do I have silicone? Do I not have any silicone? Oh, I do not have much silicone. Crumbs. Had so much stuff. Yeah, we got 25 grams in there. Pick on the old furnace array real quick. Boop. Boop. All right. Good to see this still works.
Air tank low.
Okay. Let me do need to also filter this. Top off on air.
Airtime critical.
Regular pipes. It's a little annoying that we can't use the insulated pipes for making these. Because we do need a lot of the insulated variety, but it'll be okay. We're also going to need a sensor kit for the outside. We need the outside air temperature. That should be everything from that machine. Into there. CO2 filters. That's what I forgot. Luckily, we left the iron in there. Okay, I didn't need 3 of those, but it'll do. Running out of space in my inventory. Iron and gold. Also need to do some mining, apparently. Okay, that should hopefully be everything we need. So let's top off on water and head back. Food we can eat as well. Pipes outside sound unhappy. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it won't make any problems whatsoever. I'm running out of space rapidly in my pockets. Okay, we can free up some space. What other tool can I... Does this count as a tool? It does. Nice. Seal that up. And let's see. Just make sure we're not a threat. Nope. Ooh, one of the moons. Eventually, we'll get rockets. We'll be able to... I forgot my big waste tank. That's not great. I'm sure to be fine. I'm sure to be fine. Ain't nothing to worry about. It'll be fine. Definitely. 100%. Probably. Maybe not. We'll be quick. All right, let's see. Where's our base? Right up here. There it is. Okay. First things first. I see housing. Let's use the compact variety. And then we can stick that in there, and then we can grab the sensors and stick one of you right there. You. We need our tool belt because we need our wire cutters. Now we need our screwdriver and cable coils. CO2 filters. Don't have power over here yet. That is because we need to go inside. We can swap out our super ugly pipe cowls with our brand new passive vents. Also set up our other active vent in here for the airlock. Take that off. Wrench. Eh. Um, there we go. Nice, smooth into the walls, passive vents. That vent's outside, which is fine. That vent's inside. Labeler, closet door, text, door, int, active vent, int, vent, text, yes, sensor, air, lock, and then we need to also just connect the cable. And now set up our external is going to be 0. Internal, it's going to be, let's just say 100 for now, because we're definitely going to get there. Wait, no, it's the wrong gas sensor. Gas sensor airlock. Positive exterior, interior. We never wired in these vents. Just now realizing. Also turn you off. Let's just make this a nice square. Wasted cables, yes. Active vent, exterior, interior. That is everything we need. So now we grab our screwdriver again, pop that back into cycle mode. So now this is a sealed environment in here. And cycle to exterior, loop, does its thing. Now we're out here. Let's head outside now. So we're pulling in cold gas. We need a liquid drain this as well, because the pollutant will condense eventually. Set this to 35. It's not going to be cold gas anymore, so let's turn that off. We're going to turn you on. That should be pulling out our CO2, which we can then inject using this into our room. And we're going to just inject some pure CO2 to start, because we can throw a plant in there and it'll start making oxygen. We don't have any water to do that, so that'll be a next episode kind of thing. But we got to let it cool down too. Now, this should, in theory, be cooling. It's not going to for a bit because there's absolutely no pressure in the system. So we kind of got to get some pressure built up first. But unfortunately, it's daytime again. If we head back indoors... and head through our airlock. There's now a little bit of pressure in here. And this little bit of pressure at a very high temperature right now will eventually become oxygen. So get some plants in here. Get some O2 flowing. So that's pretty cool. Should in theory work. I think that will be fine. I'll have to set up the code for it later. And we'll have to also do some mining, obviously, because we are fresh out of everything. But it's pretty compact. Got ourselves a little tiny system here. Let's also just get this working. I'm just going to set this to be like... We don't really need that much in here, so let's just throw it up to like 5 megapascals. I could use the labeler, but I'm stubborn. Then we could also throw a little reader in there to just cut it out, cut this off if we don't need it, but it's fine. This is cooling now. Not very efficiently, but there's not that much stuff in there to cool. Which is pretty cool. Literally. As it's a pure CO2 atmosphere, it's not super useful for us to be able to live, but once we throw a couple plants in there, they should be very happy with the CO2 atmosphere, and they will turn it into a partial O2 atmosphere, which, given enough O2, we'll be able to actually survive. Then on this block here, we can set up our oxygen tap, where we'll filter out excess oxygen whenever the pressure in the room gets a little too high, and we'll store it in a tank. And that will be our little compact oxygen setup in our space shed. Pretty awesome, I think, at least. Anyway, that has been more than enough for today. Thank you all for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, hit the little like button, subscribe perhaps. And I will see you all next time.